Yo, what is going on, guys? My Stamina Necromancer for the Fate DLC. We're start by putting all our points into max stam here. And then here's our unbuffed stats. Our stats fully buffed up is 2200 mag recovery, 2700 stam recovery, 5300 weapon damage, 11% crit, 4k pen, 25k physical spell resist, 1700 crit resist, and on our back bar here, we do end up going to 27k spell and physical resistance. Our health is capped out at 30k, and our max stamina on our front bar is 24,500. Our crit damage for this build is 51% here, and our crit healing is 30%. Alright, on to our sets. I'm chose to run Battleground here for just extra damage. You can run whatever monster set you want to run here, but Battleground or Engine Guardian is what I would recommend. And then of course One Piece Trainee. These three are all heavy, all reinforced. Our other heavy piece will be on our legs here, and we are running mechanicals on our front bar. That's why I don't have very much crit. You can choose to run crit pots, but tripods give you the extra sustain, so it's up to you as personal preference. But I definitely recommend running tripods since you have infinite sustain with that. But you do lose out on like the 13% crit from crit pots, so that is a choice you'll have to make. And our legs will be heavy. Our boots, waist, and gloves here are all medium in pen. Retro Vitality will be our back bar set. This set gives an insane amount of recovery. Retro Vitality is a very stat dense set, which gives you a bunch of stats for basically free. All you have to do is proc a major or minor debuff or buff, and you grant 400 magicka and stam recovery, which is 800 total recovery for just proccing something that's very easy to proc, and allows it to basically have a free 100% uptime. So you get an insane amount of recovery from this set. I'm running 3 medium, by the way, on our waist, boots, gloves, and 4 heavy on our legs, chest, helmet, and shoulders, 4 reinforced and 3 impen, all prismatic glyphs. For our jewelry here, we're running infused weapon damage glyphs here to get the extra recovery. And then our mythic will be Sea Serpent Coil. Sea Serpent is insane. It's super strong. It gives you major berserk, 10% extra damage, and increases your damage, weapon and spell damage by 430, which is also just insane. All infused. I don't feel like I need Bloodthirsty since we are running an Execute, so I chose all infused with the standard part of the glyph. And then our 2-hand will be a battle axe for the extra crit damage, sharpened with a shock damage glyph, so we get the 5% extra damage to our opponents, and sharpened to give us more damage. For our back bar here, we are running power with a weapon damage enchant glyph. You can run whatever you want here on the back bar. I just like the weapon enchant to increase my healing. Same with power. I prefer power over defending. It's personal preference once again there. And then for our shield, I recommend running sturdy with a max stamina glyph. Onto our skills here, we're running execute. What can I say? Rally, our major buff. Blast bones. I tried the other more for blast bones. I just prefer this one. It's easy to spam, very cheap, and gives you major defile, which is very, very nice. Dizzy swing, our main spammable. And then race against time. This is your flex spot for the build. But I do like to run this for the minor force and the major expedition. But other skills you could run here is Mystic Siphon for some more damage, more recoil for more healing. You can run a purge if you want to, Deaded Pain to get the meter protection all the time. Or you can run the new skill from the vampire, Elusive Mist. This is really fun to use. I definitely recommend trying this out. It's pretty fun, it's unique. I'll show you it right now. You kind of teleport and you can get major expedition afterwards, so it's pretty fun and it's pretty unique. You can also teleport vertically like this, so that is to keep in mind. If you like to fight different terrain, this would definitely be worth switching out for race against time, but that is definitely another option. But overall, I would say the best skill would to be run race against time here, but those are some other options. And then of course our ultimate stop smiting. Onto our backpack here, resistant flesh is our main spammable heal. Here's the armor. It's how we proc our Retro Vitality. Very easy. You should have this up 100% of the time anyways. I guess when you're attacking, this reduces their physical spell resist by 9k, which is insane. It gives you a bunch of pressure. This does increase your damage against your opponent by roughly about 17%. Resolving Vigor is our overtime heal. Gives us minor resolve. And then Spirit Guardian, this is where we take 10% less damage. Everyone knows this ability. And then Beckoning Armor. This is my personal favorite to use, but you can definitely run the other more. A Beckoning where it reduces the cost of your Spirit Mender and your Blast Bones. I just like this one because if you have a lot of people attacking you, and especially if they're at range, since we're not running a gap closer, and we do have the ability to get snared from Sea Serpents, The fact that if they're attacking me from range, they just get pulled right on top of me is very convenient, and it alleviates a lot of pressure since then they have to break for free. So it does help a lot in that regard. And then temporal guard here for the minor protection. But if you don't want to run that, then running the spell wall from Sword Shield is another great option. Onto our CP here. For our CP, I recommend running Exploiter, Mastered Arms, Deadly Aim, and Biting Aura. I just chose to run this to get most damage possible. I don't think we need the damage reduction passive from CP since we do have the Spirit Mender, which gives us 10%. Onto our red CP, I chose to run this passive here. Whenever you break free, you get major protection for 3 seconds, decreasing your damage taken by 10%. That's very nice since most of the time you're getting bursted while breaking CC. So I've really been liking using this. Pain Refuge reduces damage for every dot on top of you by 2%. For every 2 dots. This is very strong once again, so we have no way to cleanse dots. There will always be dots on you in PvP or negative effects on you, so this will always be procced, so it's very nice to have. And then Sustained by Suffering, once again, really strong passive, always negative effect on us, so the recovery is very nice. And then Survival Instinct, when afflicted with the status effect, your core combat skills cost 5% less, which will pretty much once again always be on top of you, so your combat skills will be relatively cheap. Also, if you don't want to run Serpent Sea, Serpent Coil, I recommend Mark and Ring. It's the other mythic that I would run, but I definitely think you should run this. This mythic is completely busted. Onto the way you want to play the build. It's pretty simple. I do like mechanicals quite a bit on a Necro because you stay on your back bar for quite a while. Well, 8 or 9 seconds, I would say. So you go on the offensive when your mechanical's up. You make sure everything's procced. So that's proc, you just spam blast bones, and then you just auto attack, blast bones, Dawnbreaker, and the good old bread and butter. But then once your mechanical is down, you want to play defensive generally. You play defensive for usually about 7 or 8 seconds, and then you go on the offense again. And then by the time you'll have to go right back onto your back bar, and by the time you're going off the back bar the second time, your mechanical generally should be up. And when you go on the offense without mechanical, you're not necessarily trying to kill your opponent, you're just trying to burn their break free cost and just get them to burn resources for free. You can still kill people if you have Dawnbreaker up, but without Dawnbreaker up, you know, mechanicals up, it's relatively hard to kill people sometimes. So I definitely think you shouldn't go for the kill unless you have Dawnbreaker up or mechanical up. But if you have those two, your burst damage is really high, which allows you to melt through people. And sometimes people aren't expecting it, especially when everything's critting. You hit for a crit Dizzy, a crit Dawnbreaker, and a crit Blast one all at the same time. People just evaporate. And it's very nice to have. You have a lot of sustain on this build, and you're really tanky because of Spirit Mender and whatnot. And this Resilient Flesh here. Since you get spell of physical resist equal to the amount of heal, which is very nice since you definitely need that when you are getting attacked. Even though you get minor defile on you, it doesn't really matter since you are Necromancer. You do get more healing when there's a negative effect on you, so this passive pretty much gets negated. So it's not that bad whatsoever. If you have any questions regarding the build, I'd be happy to answer anything down in the comments below. And with that, I do hope you enjoyed.